Hi once again. It's time to put another telephone up. Or two telephones as we have here. Short little introduction. These are fairly well known. Now in England they were supplied for the private service, non-BT, so they were used like in offices and that. The name is TN, which is Telenorma. This company, Telenorma, also manufactured slave clocks and other various items for the office trade. But today we'll concentrate on their telephones. This model has been named E3, although you can't see that name at all on the instructions or the information on the rear. But that's what I understand they were. Now they came about or started life in 1952. Yeah, I remember 1952 as well. And that's when they started. The first models were black. They modified in different years, 1958, 1965, and I think then they became E3, but definitely this E3 does not appear anywhere on the base. The numbers I've written down there as well, so that's what that is. Now let's have a little look at the actual instrument. This one I've had the longest and it was damaged. You can see, let's move this one out the way. You've got the contacts down there, which is the cradle, obviously, when you put the receiver down. You've got your contacts made there, which is unusual. This one was badly damaged, and as you can see, I did a bit of a bodge up. It works. Good old Araldite, and that stuck it back. It was just broken. It's made of plastic and not very strong. That was obviously, I think, a weak point with these phones. The rest of the phone looks quite good. Your bell coils are doubled, but not doubled the way you'd normally expect them to. There's your two coils side by side. And you've got the other part there. Can't see what I'm looking for. Oh, there we are. There's the little armature, if you like, for the bell. And on the rear, I can show there on this one, where are we? The adjuster for the loudness and softness of the bell. And see underneath little lever under there, which I can't point to because I only got one pair of hands, and there you can see that, and that is how they control the bell. On the top here is the earth button, with its contacts at the side. These, as I say, this phone was hardwired. Looks a bit untidy, but at least it does the job. You've only got one capacitor. That's the one there on the side. It's actually got a date on there, 63. As I say, that's the only time I see a date. So obviously the phone was obviously after 63. Made by Fraco. I think that's a German firm. 1 microfarad. For 160 volt working. There won't be 160 volts on there. But anyhow, that's your ringing capacitor. There's the induction coil, which looks very similar to those coils on the autophone that tended to be a bit dodgy. They shorted out. So it looks very similar. I think some of the bits probably came out of the same stable in Germany that made the bits for the autophone. You've got terminations there. Let's have a look at the dial. I'll show the other phone. I'll take the cover off. It's only resting on there. The dial is similar. It's not the same, but it's very similar to the dial on the autophone and also that Pi phone that I gave a little video on. This has got dated 2.71, which could well be the year. So this one shows it without a cover. I don't know if there ever was a cover with it, but it's certainly not on this one. Similar mechanism. It appears to build up speed. So if you dial 1, you get more than 1 pulse, but the pulses don't go out. It's prevented by the off normal, so it only pulse once, but it might go twice. As I say, slightly different, but very similar, possibly made by the same maker. Don't know. Now let's have a little look at the handset. This is one type of handset they use on these phones. I won't take the inserts out. I've got to try and turn this one over without causing damage, as I've only got one pair of hands. Another reason I haven't been on here last week was I put my wrist out. I don't know how. I was getting meter readings for the electric company. I have to present the meter readings every month. They were going to have a smart meter installed, but never did. Well, anyhow, the meter is so low down that getting myself virtually on the ground and laying down to read the gas meter, when I got up, I somehow pushed that left hand down to get myself up, and there's been severe pain, and I mean pain. I was virtually living on paracetamols. Well, it's still slightly painful, but it's not as bad as it was. Anyhow, there is the other one of these phones. They're the same model, exactly the same. This is obviously a later one, and the set of contacts is much better nick. You can see how they're screwed down, so they're all plastic. So this one hasn't had to be glued up or anything. It appears to be working okay. You'll notice there is no earth button on this one, but obviously you can see they can easily be installed by screwing into this little area here. Induction coil's the same. The capacitor, let's see what the date on there. Now this one's not a Fraco, this is made by ERD or ERO. Looks exactly the same, and it's got on here 261, so it looks like this is 61. 1 microfarad again, 160 volt. Same type of bell ringing coils, exactly the same. This in fact is the same model. Nice to see how the wires to the dial have been sort of clamped down. They're well thought out. This one, the dial, if I can show you it, has a cover over it, which I'm not going to take off. I'm not going to take the dial out. So, as I say, these were well-made phones, but very, very basic. Only bits in there that are needed are included. No frills or anything. It's your basic bell circuit and your dial to dial out. I'll show you the circuit diagram. Didn't realise. There's the circuit. Now that was folded and put under the capacitor, but I printed it out again because I could hardly read that one. It's the same size but reprinted, and that's what we got. There's the actual circuit diagram. Always stop the video and look at it to see if you're working on one of these. And you've also got in various languages, and I'll focus in the English one, which is, there's the English there going across. So it's, as I say, it's quite clear. Obviously Germany, or German was the first one. Now these phones were supplied to a company in England. I don't see if I can get the right one with a dial on it with its, yes, there we are. There's the dial, and it's General Telephone Systems Limited. That's one of the companies that use these. And I understand London Weekend Television use these phones. But the main thing is they're quite a distinct shape. Pre-war, they had another version out which I'll have to put up at some time. I have got one of these. It appears I got it from Germany many years ago, but we'll certainly put that one up. looks totally different. Well, I say totally different. Yeah, it does look totally different. So anyway, this is more or less all I have to say on these phones. Just something to put up. Hopefully, any questions, please ask. And oh yeah, the handset on this one is slightly different. They obviously changed the type of handset. They always seem to have the white screws, white and sort of greeny colour. There's the other one there. They are, as I say, slightly different, so it does look like these were being changed over the period of time. But yeah, quite an interesting phone. Well made, except those contacts down there, but they're on a sort of a plastic material, which appears to be okay. On the other ones, I say, it was broken, and I was lucky enough to get it to work, holding it down with a good old Araldite. So that's more or less it. The base is held on with 3 screws into good, strong cover and brass inserts. So using proper screws going into brass inserts. So they obviously spent a bit of time to make quite a good example. And obviously a nice metal base as well. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. Thanks for watching. Don't know what I'm going to put up next. I know one thing, I'm going to have a nice cup of tea in a minute and pop this up on YouTube. Sorry about my little rant yesterday concerning that horrible device which was supposed to reduce the pressure. Load of rubbish. And as I say, not much on the TV of late. So that's been turned off. So there we are. Thanks again. Thank you.